So you're looking for a new job and you realize you don't have a resume. Lucky for you, today I'm going to show you how to create a resume quickly and easily using Canva. So stick around. If you're new here, welcome to Ange 2.0, where I show you how to improve your life one day at a time. Now, today you're here to learn about resumes, so let's get into resumes. First thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to log into Canva. Now, Canva is a free account. However, there is a pro version, and I can't stress enough how great this program is. I highly recommend that you get yourself a pro account. The way I think of it is I kind of see the pro account as an investment. When you use the pro account, there are so many more templates available to you and more features overall. It's definitely worth it. I'm going to put the link in the description if you want to try Canva Pro out for 30 days. But otherwise, let's show you how to get this started. So using the link that I am putting in the description, I'm going to go ahead and go to Canva. So once you create an account, you're going to be taken to Canva's homepage. The absolute wonderful thing that I love about Canva is that there are templates for almost everything you can possibly imagine. So given that we're talking about resumes today, I'm going to type in resume in my search at the top. So resume, and watch what happens. You have all of these gorgeous templates ready for you to use and customize to your information. So one thing I do want to point out is if you are hovering and if you are exploring Canva for the first time, you'll notice that as you hover over these templates, you might see a pro version. Again, if you are using the link that I provided in the description, you will have these templates available to you. However, if you choose to sign up for a free account, then you won't have access to some of these. The other thing I want to show you is that if you keep hovering, you'll notice that some of these, such as this one, says 1 of 3. That means there are 3 different pages included in this template. So it looks like right off the bat, this one is a resume and a cover letter that matches the template. Same with the one next to it. It looks like it's a resume and a cover letter. So you do have some options. Obviously, not all of these are going to have multiple pages, but this is an excellent start to get started on your resume. So let's pick a resume that we want to customize and go from there. Now, I highly recommend that if this is your first time creating a resume, I would go with a more minimalistic look, only because you can't go wrong with that. If you go with a minimalistic one, you're playing it safe, and minimal is better than too exaggerated, too outlandish, if you know what I mean. So let's say we are looking through all of these and I'm like, you know what, this looks really good. I'm going to go with, let's just go with this one right here. Okay, so I click the one I want. It's going to pop up and says, do you want to customize this template? Yes, of course I do. So I'm going to click on it and it brings you to this page. Now, if you are new to Canva, just a few quick tips and pointers to using this program. If you notice at the bottom, there is a slider that you can drag to zoom in and zoom out. That is going to be very helpful when you're creating this. But also on the left, just to show you, it has text where you can change the font if you want to. Again, for the first time, I would just recommend going with what the template has to offer. So the first thing I notice is the name. Now, this is not my name, but the cool thing is all you have to do is double tap and write your own name. So I'm going to put my name and I'm going to double tap and put my last name. And then you can put your title. So let's say I am creating a teacher resume because I'm going to apply for a teaching position. So I'm going to put teacher there. And then this is your contact information. So you can customize this if you want. If you don't want to include your address in here, you can kind of just hold down the mouse, click and drag over the parts you don't want, and you can get rid of it by hitting the delete button or clicking the delete option right here. But all you're doing is you're double clicking and you're putting in your information. It's as simple as that. It's pretty much plug and play. Don't forget that if you don't have a website, then you would just erase that part and then rearrange this whole thing. So my recommendation is, let's say I don't have a website to include. I'm going to erase that by hitting delete. And then I'm just going to kind of highlight the next part and maybe drag it up a bit just to make it more uniform so it looks a little bit more visually appealing. Also, if you wanted to, you could group these items. So if I know that I want these two to stick together, I can highlight both and hit group. That way, if I ever move these on the page, the whole thing moves instead of just the text or just the icon. So that's a very cool feature with Canva. It also gives you guidelines if you notice. So if I highlight this and group this and then move it up, it will show you, oh yeah, this is how far left you should go. Maybe this is the distance between this icon and the one above it, just so it seems more uniformed. So that is your contact information. Skills, this is where you want to put what you're good at, things that you do well. And this is really kind of the part of the resume that you're pitching yourself, right? So in Canva, as you saw, there are so many different templates. This one just happens to be showing kind of like a scale, a level of 0 to 100 of how well this person's project management skills are. So in doing this, all you could do is click on the little button or the little circles and then change the color to whatever the other colors are. So if I double click the dark one, I notice it is the second to last one on the right. So if I wanted to change this light one, just click on it, the color block, and then change it to the same color as the other one. So this is just another way to visually show your skill level. If you're not comfortable with this and you're like, this is too much, I would suggest then going back to the templates and just selecting another one instead of trying to fiddle with this too much. If you're with me so far in this video, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. This gives me the opportunity to show others who are looking to get a new job, either freshen up their resume or create a new one. It helps me get this out to them as well. If you scroll back up to the top right, this is about me. I would change this. If this was me, I would just name this objective and maybe put a little blurb about why I'm applying for this job. So a sentence or two describing what I am trying to do, what my goal is for applying, and just replace what's there. Education, it's pretty self-explanatory. All you have to do is double click and put your degree. You can also put the year that you attended that institution and then put the program or certification that you have under this. Under that, we have work experience. And again, this varies based on what your experience is. So similar to the schooling, you always want to start with the most recent job that you have. So you would put the name of the company here. And if you notice, Canva just gives you these great prompts to use. So if you're like, what am I supposed to be doing? It kind of shows you by the wording what you should put there. So this looks like the company name that you would put on this first line. This would be the years that you were working with that company, your title, and then you would also put some of the things that you were responsible for while you were at that job. This lists 3 different spaces for you to put your 3 last jobs. But again, if you don't have that many or you need more, you would just adjust accordingly. So as you can see at the top of the page, there is a picture here. Obviously, looking at that picture, that is not me. So to customize it, if you are wanting to include your picture, what you would do is you would click on the picture. So let me click on it, and then you can hit delete. And if you notice, the background changes to the clouds and grass. This is what's called a frame in Canva. And what it does is it allows you to upload your own image and it frames it in that shape. It's kind of like a mask. If you're used to Google Slides or PowerPoint, it's similar to the mask in there. So all I would have to do is find a picture on my computer that I would want to add to that spot and just drag it in. So let's try that right now. So I found a picture. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the picture and I'm just going to drag it onto the page. Now you'll see that it appears in the middle, but all you have to do is drag it to the little square in the corner. So I'm just going to drag it, and eventually you see it kind of snaps into place. And that's the cool thing about frames in Canva, is that once you find a picture, it will automatically adjust it and and move it around. Now, if you don't like the placement of this, all you can do is double tap on your picture, and then you can kind of move it around. If you're like, no, I want it more this way, up or down, you could do it that way. And if you let go, it will, and click off the page, it will adjust itself. So that is a quick way to change the picture in your template. Remember, if you don't want a picture, but you like this template, you're like, I really like the layout and I want to use this, but I don't want a picture on there. All you have to do is erase it. So I'm going to click on the picture. I can click delete, and then delete frame will get rid of everything. If you're going to go this route, then what I would do is I would adjust the rest accordingly. So maybe I want to move this whole thing up and put something else underneath. Maybe I have a quote or something that I want to add. In that case, then I would just go to the left and I would click on either a body of text, a heading or subheading. So let's just click this one. And then what I would do is I could click on that and then drag it to where I wanted it to go. And based on the font that you want to use, you just pull down the menu and you can find all sorts of fonts there that are available for you. I would just put my quote in there, and there you go. Now you have a resume without a picture option. So that is the basic part of using Canva for your resume creation. Now, one other thing that you might notice is this is only a one-pager, right? And when you create a resume, you always want to list your references. You usually want about 3 references listed, and references are people that know you on a professional level. You never, ever, ever, ever want to list friends or family as a reference. The reason being is that your friends and family are biased. So if a potential employer gives them a call, of course your family and your friends are going to be raving about you and saying how you need to be promoted ASAP, whatever, that's not realistic. Typically, a new employer would want to talk to a former manager, a former boss, supervisor, because they will have a more accurate description of how you performed as an employee. So where are we going to list our references? If you notice, we don't have any space for us to list those. It's okay to list them on a separate page. You could add a page down here at the bottom, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring up a blank page. You could absolutely just use the text function and put in a heading, and create it on your own if you wanted to, or even putting it on like a Google Doc and then printing that out separately so when you attach them, they're together. Now, if you want to plan this out ahead of time before putting it into the Canva template, I'm going to include a free resume planning document in the description. This will allow you to kind of brainstorm your information and how you want to put it on the document and then just copying and pasting it into Canva if you want to, or even if you want to write it out. But this is good to have just so you can think ahead of time, because regardless, you're going to want to be clear of what information you're putting down. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I have also included a list of skills that you may want to use in your resume. So for example, if you've ever had any sort of leadership roles, you can look under leadership and teamwork skills and use some of these skill suggestions to put in your resume. Problem solving skills, sales and marketing skills. There's just a bunch of different suggestions that you may want to use in your resume. So those are things that in our template, when we talk about the work experience, underneath you're listing the skills and the things that you did. That is something a future employer would want to know about you. What are you good at? What separates you from everybody else? And why should we hire you? Don't be afraid to play around with the templates. If you click on design on the left, you'll notice that all of the other resume templates pop up. And if you were to click on one, let's say, oh, this one catches my eye. A little pop-up will say, do you want to add it as a new page or do you want to replace the current page? So if I hit replace current page, it's going to completely get rid of everything we did. Now the undo button is up here by the resize up here at the top. I'm going to click that and put it back the way it was. But if I wanted to add it as a new page for whatever reason, I could click that and then scroll up and you can see that, okay, now both of them are there. So that's something else that if you want to play around with a different template, a different version of it, then you can do that. Let's say we're done with our resume, we finished everything, we've got our references, we're good to go. The next thing I would recommend doing is exporting this and saving it to your device. So to do that, you would go up in the top corner and you would click on share. And again, as I stated before, you want to save this as a PDF. So I'm gonna go to download and I'm gonna click this. And then file type, you're going to click the drop-down menu. You're gonna choose PDF standard. And that will just take our resume and make sure that all the fonts stay the exact same. The images are not going to be skewed. It kind of just takes it as it is right now and just makes it into a PDF. So this is probably the best way that I would recommend saving your resume on your laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to flatten it. Flatten it also just kind of makes sure if you hover over the eye, it just kind of helps make sure that everything is in its right place and nothing's going to move accidentally. So I would click flatten PDF and then click download. And however many pages you have in this document, it's going to save that many. Oh, if you just want to save the first page, then you would click on share and then you would hit download and then you would select the pages you want to print by checking and unchecking. So now that we have our resume all ready to go, if I click on it, I can see that there it is. And again, this is just kind of our example, but I'm just showing you how it would look when you're all said and done. Also, let me know in the comments, have you made a resume before? Is yours severely outdated? Do you want something new? Let me know in the comments, maybe something new that you learned today. Have you ever used Canva before? What do you think of it? Thoughts or questions or even concerns? I would love to see what you have to say. And that essentially is how we create a resume in Canva. This program has made it just so much easier to create anything. We can go into all the other stuff another time. This is just something that looks beautiful and it's really gonna stand out from the rest of the resumes. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to keep your notifications turned on so that you can stay updated on any new video that drops, including this next one, which will also help you with adulting. Thanks for watching.